I would have won the
That
match.
was when he was throwing.
Yeah, it was when he was throwing up.
Yeah.
So I know it was around 16 or quarters, I forget. But Krejci had a match point in that match. So
Is it that how do you call it, a big regret? I mean, not being able to be number one in a way, or to say to your son, or I've been number one in the world.
No, I think it's one of these things where you obviously wish it would have happened, but I think at the end of the day, if you've gone out and you trained your best and you worked your hardest and you go out and you play your heart out, that's all you can ask of yourself. So it's not going to change who I am as a person, and it's not going to change anything now. I feel obviously very blessed to have played on tour for so many years and to have the opportunity to do so well. And there's a lot more to be thankful for.
Are you still religious as you were when you were 17?
Yes, very much so.
You mentioned in the Bible, and I remember you said something like that when you were cramping and you wanted to almost stop that famous match versus Lendl, that you heard a sort of voice coming saying, keep trying, something like that. Is that true? It's accurate?
Yeah, I mean, I had a very strong conviction of heart not to give up.
Yeah.
So that's something that I will always remember for the rest of my life, because I think at the end of the day, we all have difficult times, we all have struggles, and sometimes the easy thing is to just give up. But if you give up, you never know what can happen.
And you know that you're also famous for many reasons, but some of them are related to bananas, because nobody knew that to eat a banana. Do you think it's still good, or times have changed and people are drinking, I don't know, also all different sort of...
I think there's still a little bit. I mean, a lot of guys are still eating some bananas, but obviously things have changed a little bit. So,
do you give bananas to Nishikori or no?
I don't give him bananas, but I think he does maybe take a couple here and there. So, yeah.
Listen, about the famous match with Lendl, you've been asked, I think, 1 million times maybe?
Maybe.
And the answer was always the same. Is it the memory that stuck in everybody's memory, but also in yours, or you have one that stuck more?
No, I think it's difficult. I think it's difficult to have a match that that kind of stands above that one. I think that it's been such a career-defining match. Certainly I never would have guessed it to be. If you had asked me before the match started, but it happened that way, and it's obviously very special. It's always been very special. So
I was broadcasting for the Italian TV match, and I was fascinated by all the strategy and the tactic that you put on court that day. Would you do it everything exactly the same nowadays if you were in the same position or not?
I mean, I think that I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, things are so different now. Obviously things are a little bit more as you've grown up and you've matured. But at 17 years old, it's a very different perspective. So you don't think about a lot of the other implications. You don't think about a lot of the other things that might go along with it. You're only thinking about winning a tennis match. Maybe that was the nice thing about it. So
still, sometimes I think that when I see some, especially on play court, someone returning from much behind of the bracelet, that serve one's underarm is not. I don't think it's it is so bad. I mean, because afterwards somebody thought it was lack of respect. I don't think. What do you think?
I mean, I think under normal circumstances, it could be viewed that way. But I think under the circumstances, I don't think so. I've never had Yvonne ever say to me, hey, that was just lack of respect. I think because I was cramping so bad, because of the kind of the dire situation, it was you do what you need to do. So I've never had anyone come up to me and actually say that to me. Because I think anybody that really understands tennis knows that there's a difference between doing something like that under stress and under certain circumstances, and there's another thing if you're doing it and you're up 6-0, 5-0 or something, you know.
Sure.
So
Then that
then
will be at
yeah,
ease.
then that's just there's no place for that.
course.
So, but I think the circumstances, were okay.
I read in an interview which you gave to L'Equipe that you said that you never talked to Lando about that particular match. Why that? I mean, it's something that you think because you're afraid to bother him and reminding him a bad day at the office, or
No,
what?
just it's funny. We don't.
You're shy or what?
I've talked to Yvonne about a lot of other things.
Yeah.
I've talked to him about golf. Talked to him about current state of men's tennis. We've talked about some times when we were out on tour, but I don't know. We've never just talked about that. There hasn't been a need to. I don't have any questions that I want answered, and he's never asked me any questions that he wanted answers from. So
still, if there is an exhibition, let's say a match like the one which is scheduled to be played in Genova in Italy, between you and him, is because of that. So it's because of that match. And have you ever played afterwards versus him in some matches that somehow you had to replay some certain situations or
no,
not?
no.
Will it be the first time more since then?
I mean, we
Or
played.
in the senior tour?
We played once on the senior tour, maybe like 4 years ago, in Frankfurt actually on clay, and I lost 6-4, 6-2 actually, and I got hurt at the end of the first set. So, and then we played an exhibition, mixed doubles in Halle. We played with Andrea Pekovic and Julia Georges. So, other than that,
Who did you pick between the two?
we kind of switched off. So I played a few games with Julia, I played a few games with Andrea, and I actually even played a few games with Yvonne. So
Against the two girls?
against the two girls.
I guess you won.
So I guess you can't really say that who won, who lost. So, but I do see Yvonne, a fair amount, whether it's on Champions Tour or whether he was obviously when he was coaching Andy. So
Were you talking about different ways of coaching? I mean, you have your approach to Nishikori, he has probably a different approach
Sure.
to Murray. Did you discuss a little bit or?
No, because at the time I wasn't. At the time that we were talking, I wasn't coaching Nishikori yet.
Oh.
Yeah. So actually, no, I take that back. Actually, I was earlier in the year. So we don't talk about any specific stuff because obviously it's coaching player. It's we don't discuss that kind of things.
No. But your experience about coaching, you had to recall to what? To the coach you had, because most of your life you were coached by your brother at the beginning of it.
Right.
So you didn't have so many coaches around you to teach you or to give you some advice. So was it difficult? Or you just do by instinct?
Well, I think everybody's going to have their different coaching style. For me, I think it's probably a little bit easier to coach a player like Kay because we have similarities in certain aspects of culture and then certain aspects of styles of play.
Is the culture really so close if you're Chinese?
I mean, it's not the same,
Chinese
obviously.
And the other one is Japanese.
Yeah, obviously
so...
it's not identical, but there are some Asian cultural things that are similar.
Or is he religious as you were? Or?
No, he's not. But mentality-wise, I think generally, being a little bit more on the quieter side, being a little bit more reserved. Food-wise, I don't have to ask him, hey, if I say any kind of Asian food, yeah, it's okay. So it's these kinds of things. So there are some similarities there, and then obviously. The way we play tennis is similar in certain aspects. So if you were to ask...
First of all, that you didn't need to serve so strongly as you are so tall.
Yeah, we're not the biggest guys out there. We're both pretty fast. We both play pretty solid off the ground. And, so I'm able to take some of the experiences, some of the lessons that I've learned and be able to apply it and teach him, some of those things.
I remember that when you change your racket with a longer body racket, you went from an average of 3 aces a match to 10. Did you do the same sort of thing for him or not? Is he playing with the racket?
I haven't touched anything as far as equipment goes for him. No racket stuff.
Why that? Because you're not afraid of doing it? Or?
No, because because I think that he's been playing well, and there's no need that I haven't seen anything significant where he needed necessarily an equipment change.
How many years it doesn't make first surgery?
Yeah, I mean,
you're happy with that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still, he's a little bit taller than I am, so it is a little bit probably easier for him to serve. So, but we've had to make a lot of other adjustments in a lot of other areas.
Okay. Listen, just one last question on Lendl and your relationship with him more recently. I mean, would you go out for dinner with him eating the...
I have.
Yeah?
I have gone out. In Germany we went out to eat. Yeah, I get along very well with Ivan. I think people sometimes have this impression like, oh, are you guys like arch enemies or anything like that? But Ivan is very personal. He's very different off the court than what you see on the court, or even in the stands when he's coaching. He's very, kind of like this. But off the court, he talks a lot. He likes to laugh and likes to joke around, and
good sense of humor.
Yeah, very good sense of humor.
Do you think you yourself, I don't know you so well. Are you considered in your family as someone has a good sense of humor or not?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's important to laugh.
Yeah.
If you're not laughing enough, or you don't surround yourself with people that make you smile and laugh, then I think something needs to change.
Okay.
Life's too short.
And Michiko is saying same thing. Also, okay, is he someone with sense of humor?
Yeah,
or
of course.
Okay. Listen, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
I just want to tell you one thing because it's a personal, but I will never forget your win and whatever I saw it, because the 2 days after you won the French Open, I had my exam of graduation in Italy, and the criminal law. Mm-hmm. When I finished to talk about criminal law, they sent me off of the school, the hall, all the 10 professors. Then when I come back, they say, oh, we have to ask you a supplement of inquiry. So I get frightened. What they're going to ask me. And then they say, how could Michael Chang win the French Open? Because I was already writing. And so, my graduation I got, of course, I gave a good answer.
Good.
And that's why in my biography it says that I graduated, and thanks to you I also saw my grades.
There you go. So okay? I get some kudos. I get some credit.
So listen, thanks a lot.